Tank King, we're coming along line. Time on up. Yeah. We don't play roles, we just walk in the flame. MD calling shots like he coached the game. Boss move. Suited and grind, got that boss man sound. Yes, sir. Vision so clean, he could lead the whole town.
What's going on, America? Welcome to the Hornsmen Show. I'm your host, MD, and today's lucky number is the number 2. 2 Sweet 16 teams, 2 co-founders of Black Sports Moms, and a $2 million NIL. Find out how it's going down today. But before we get started, let's get into 2 what you know questions.
Let's get it started.
What you know? First question. According to On3 and Fox Sports, which NCAA basketball player has the highest NIL valuation? Lachauna, we're going to start. Before we intro you, we're going to start with you on this question.
Throwing him to the fire. Let's go.
I forget his name.
Yes. He fits in well. His name escapes me at the present time. Why doesn't somebody else go?
But his team colors are blue, right?
Correct.
I just can't remember it, and he's got like a foreign sounding name. See, I just
Come on. See, Taboo, you're building
Was that the one that said, I have to ask my mom when they were asking him, was he ready to go?
That is him. I think that was him. Yep.
He said, I got to ask my mama.
Yep.
All right, tell me next. We're coming to you.
Oh, I got to ask my mama, so I'm gonna pray about it. I have no idea, bro.
Yep.
Is it AJ? I'm gonna butcher this up.
Are you looking it up right now?
Dibansa? Well, I knew who he was. He's with the BYU Cougars. He almost single-handedly scored 100 points against us. Is it AJ?
Almost.
Yes.
I don't need you to. Well, yes, you are correct.
I gotta ask my mama.
Phone's down though.
You gotta ask your mama. But you know what? He did score like 35 points. Now he's sitting at the house because of one of the Sweet 16 teams. Next question. According to On3 and Fox Sports, which NCAA wide receiver has the highest NIL evaluation? Waits, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna come back.
Ironically, I put up the number 4, Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, Kylie Gibson.
I'm going Cam Coleman with the good guys.
Coleman. Okay. Tomo, who you got?
I always follow leadership. Cam Coleman.
All right.
Am I not a leader?
Andrea, who you got?
I passed the ball to Lachauna.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Smith because I know the Buckeyes is rolling out some money.
Ooh. Well, you know what? They are rolling out some money, but they they're gonna roll out this loss come the fall.
We'll see.
Come to Austin.
Shout out to leadership, Toma.
Shout out.
Glad you got your light working, bro.
Way to follow the program, guys.
Yes. You see how we did that? We did that for you, Lachauna, before you even knew we was doing
right.
that.
You did your
research. This is not our first rodeo. We didn't roll this thing for a few years. Hey, today we have the pleasure of welcoming co-founders of Black Sports Moms, Andrea Odom and Lachauna Edwards. Black Sports Moms, founded in March 2025, is a movement designed to empower and educate mothers of athletes to lead and transform their child's athletic career. Their purpose is to give moms the tools, connections, and confidence to navigate every level of their child's athletic journey. And I lost my pages on here. So
you go to page 2? This is where we get our eye sponsor.
Yeah, this is
right now.
We'll get to the important part. Now we pick back up and action. Andrea serves as the VP and Director of Strategic Partnerships. She also drives and oversees media, public relations, and the outreach team. Lachauna serves as the General Counsel and leads all legal strategy and NIL education for the organization. Today, as we celebrate Women's History Month and the upcoming 1 year of Black Sports Mom, let's give a warm round of applause. Ladies, welcome.
Walk on.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We are
to the
so
program.
excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I think it's important. You all have an amazing story, and I'm gonna let y'all start off and tell it. Let's get right into it. How did Black Sports Moms come about?
So, Black Sports Moms really started. Lachauna has an amazing social media following and network. And so, during Black History Month last year, she was featuring momagers who were out there doing all things momager. And so, a friend of mine tagged me. Shout out to Stephanie, actually, who is a UT alum, Stephanie Davis, tagged me in the post. And I had been following Lachauna, but after that, got on a call, did a quick interview. She did a feature on me, and I saw the engagement. And so then I said, have you ever done a conference? And she said, no, I always wanted to. And so her in Atlanta, me in Houston, we launched the business, launched the conference, sold it out, all before we ever met in person. I think we probably sold out the conference in April, and we didn't meet until almost May. So that's we saw the need, and we just jumped and did it.
That's awesome. And you mentioned momagers. What? I think I know what momagers are, but sometimes for
Mama Davis says yes, you do. But.
I mean, we use the term momager loosely, but basically, mothers and Black women are managing households. We're planning travel, sports, wellness, lifestyle, leisure, and we have our finger on the pulse of over $1 billion of spending capital in this country. And so I want to say accidentally, we stumbled upon this community that shows up. We thought this was going to be 50 suburban moms because, Texas is Friday Night Lights. So we thought Pearland, Sugarland, Katy, and we were going to have 50 moms. Lachauna's in Atlanta. I said, come on down here. I know some folks in Houston. We're going to make it happen. We sold out at 100. We went back to our venue, we reconfigured, and we sold out at 175. And what we realized at our Friday night reception, which was at George R. Brown, which was amazing, we had 13 Florida Gator football moms that came together. Wow. And then we said, okay,
community.
So this is a national thing. 85% of our moms flew from across the country. We had Houston Texans moms, New Orleans Saints moms. So then we saw okay, we're really building something bigger than what we thought it was. So then we kind of pivoted and said, okay, we're going to now do Atlanta. Then we're going to do New Orleans. And now we're capturing the metrics of where our moms are coming from: college, pro, high school, NIL, top prospects. So it's been absolutely amazing and more than we could have ever imagined.
Now, I would jump in. Lachauna, I want to give you the open air mic just to kind of allow, because I really want to talk a little bit about NIL perspective, right? And I know I got general counsel with me as well, amazing marketing. So, NIL is a multi-million-dollar business, right? And, some of the evaluations, shout out to Jeremiah, shout out to the Buckeyes, Ohio State. But, the valuations go up to like 7 million, right? So, as moms, and when you think about families specifically, like for families, NIL, you got brands and money deals and whatnot, but parents are navigating this. They're trying to navigate it, right? So what are some of the challenges, and more importantly, maybe what are some of the mistakes that, as you're consulting and engaging, that parents are making that you've seen, given advice and consultation to, that really can cost, their child, that athlete, in the long run? And then I do have to have a DC story. I just want to check in on DC too, Andrea, but I'd like to hear that in terms of the NIL perspective.
Yeah, so it's kind of a twofold question response here. So I like to say, first and foremost, one of the biggest mistakes that I see families make is not recognizing that they're now doing business. Like, yeah, that's your 18-year-old, your 19-year-old, your 20-year-old, some of them younger, 16, 17, getting grasp while they're in high school. You're doing business. And so there are a lot of decisions that need to be made, and they need to be strategic, and they need to be understood by everybody in the family. So that comes down to making sure you guys understand what contracts you're signing, having a team in place, financial advisor, because like you said, some of these guys and the girls are getting a lot of money. Now, I do want to clarify the NIL valuation is only to be trusted so much, but I can confirm there are $1 million athletes for sure out there, and I've worked with some of them. And unfortunately, some of their families are behind because they didn't approach this initially as a business. So they don't have a business entity set up making $1 million. They don't have the financial advisor and things in place. And so one of the things we say at Black Sports Moms is one band, one sound. Everybody in the family needs to be on board from the beginning before your child ever steps on a campus, signs a contract, gets representation, that we are a team. You sign nothing without it getting reviewed. We all understand what's going on with this child and their career, and we make strategic decisions. So building that team and understanding that from day one, it's a business straight up. And it's getting more cutthroat by the day. So you really need to operate with that mindset so that we can leave the emotions at home.
No side deals, because that can get these kids in trouble. Well-intending uncles and family friends. We need to make sure that compliance and that these kids are doing the right things.
Can I? I'd love to grab a follow-up question. Yeah, if I could. Lachauna, you talked about this. You just touched on it a little bit, but you spent several years advising families on NIL and contracts, branding. And so during Black History Month, you've even launched a Momager series on Instagram, spotlighting Black mothers managing their children's athletic careers behind the scenes. What originally got you involved in that space?
So it's kind of a story in itself. So like many people around COVID 2020, I had started creating my own sort of personal brand on social media, sharing about life as a mother, wife, kids, all that kind of stuff. And so I had got brand partnerships myself from the platform that I had built. And through that, I learned, the contracts, the branding and all of that things. And I began to help some of my influencer friends with respect to their contracts, understanding intellectual property and all of that. So that's one arm of it. I'm a sports mom myself, obviously. My son is younger, though. My son is in middle school. So we are in the trenches of it right now. And then also I have a civil rights background. I worked for the U.S. Department of Education for a decade. And so I have a justice fighter in me. And I've always felt that it was an injustice that student athletes were not able to monetize off of their name, image, and likeness. And so not too long after all of these things were in place, did NIL become legal. And I was like, oh, no. I need to make sure my people understand what they're about to sign, what they're doing. And so I can't really explain exactly why there was a draw to moms. I always tell people I was standing in my living room on the phone, and I remember vividly, I said, I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, I feel like I'm called to educate mothers on this space. And I think it was also just because I knew as a sports mom myself, there was a lot of things that I was researching, from helmets. We spent a lot of money on my son's helmet because I wanted to make sure that he had the best equipment and things. So there's things that I'm doing as a momager, mama bear protector, that I know these women are too. And all of it just kind of played in. It's honestly very divine, as she said, with our original story.
Wow.
And let me add one thing that Lachauna didn't mention, that once she kind of dug into my background is in PR communications and media. And so I had the unfortunate task of doing all of the media and press for the Ahmaud Arbery murder trial. And so once she kind of found that, she's like, oh, you got it. Right. And so we kind of had that same protector of the people's civil rights, me not in the legal space, but me telling the stories, being on CNN and MSNBC and all the national coverage that we were able to get that case. And so again, our connection is literally just nothing short of divine. It just is.
Wow.
No, I think it's so amazing because, we've had some gullible travels to games for a couple of decades now, and we see how much money goes into big time college sports. And I love that you guys talked about how it's that you have professional moms, college moms, and now in some states they have the ability to have high school. And so when that comes along, can you give us some, you got Uncle Ray and Little Pistol Starter, but then you got the trainer and you got this new realm of AAU coaches. Can you kind of talk about, unfortunately, some of the exploitations that may come on unregulated, the landscape that's going on now? Because you talked about compliance, which I know is a huge deal, to the point that UT football coach Steve Sarkisian was like, I don't even know who I'm talking to that's asking this recruit or telling this recruit about this school or money or whatever that is. So can you give us like y'all's take on now the agents going versus a family friend and those kind of people that you have to kind of deal with?
That's a Lachauna for sure.
Are you okay?
Absolutely, because I mean, this is where we balance each other. Like I had the real world experience of doing it with Dylan, but she understands the compliance and the legal complexities, and that's where you get people in trouble. So I will completely defer to her.
Yeah. So like you said, this is an unregulated space, and that means that someone can wake up tomorrow, which they do, and say, I'm about to represent these athletes in NIL. And they don't have even a little bit of understanding about the contractual side of it. They just know this is a moneymaker. And I've seen different posts where people are even encouraging, novice people to work in the space because it's not a low hanging fruit in terms of getting into the sports agent representation space. And so I am always reviewing my clients' agency representation contracts. And I'm always telling them, do ever sign. I've seen some of the worst, 20% of the revenue share contract.
Wow.
Some of them have said explicitly, like, I'm here basically for the revenue share contract, all that other marketing stuff. No, that might happen, but I'm here for that. And I'm dead serious. The contract, it didn't obviously say it in that language, but it was very much, this is optional down here, but I'm going to help you with this. And the reality is a lot of the schools kind of already, especially with rev share, because there's a cap, they kind of already know what they can allocate to a certain athlete. Of course, you can go in and kind of negotiate and see how much additional things you can get. And some of them, it's adding on flights, it's adding on, different things for the family as well to be able to support the child. But because it's unregulated, our families are being inundated with a ton of people who want to work with their child. And unfortunately, some families get excited because, you're noticing my child. And I'm like, baby, no, they calling you because they see money. Please don't do that.
Trust and believe.
Yes, but I mean, obviously, on the flip side of that, we have, some great agents. A lot of the larger agencies are now engaging in the space. They took their time getting into it, and so I've seen some really great contracts, and I've seen some awful ones. But I say, I don't care which agency it is. Let me review it for you, because I've chopped up some of them big ones as well too.
And I'll add to that, even people come to us and assume that we're anti-agent, and we're not. Because let's say 1% of our moms or dads may want to go and sit and get certified and do the agency representation route. We both will probably become certified agents. Does that mean that I'm going to represent my child? No, it's not, because there are relationships and there's a process. So I would not shoot him in the foot or myself in the foot to try to do that just because I can. Now, do I want to do it for educational sake? Absolutely. And that's part of what we're doing at Black Sports Moms, debunking the myth. It's not that hard. You can get certified. You can understand. You can read contracts, and you can be educated. We want to make
community.
These families can do what you can, and then outsource what you can't. But we're debunking the myth that you can't do any of this. You can't set up your nonprofit foundation. You can't run the business. No, we're teaching these families. We're giving them the tools. And that's where I feel like the agencies think we're dangerous, because we're teaching the families how to get started.
Got it.
Now, let me say, my son, I will be representing my son.
Better believe it.
All right, I have somewhat of a follow-up question. My daughter is a competitive gymnast. Who knows? She's a 10th grader. We don't know where it'll go, but she's on the path. Let's call it that. What are some of the more difficult sports to negotiate deals for? I would imagine gymnastics being one, but what from you guys' perspective, what are the more difficult ones?
So my perspective is not necessarily just the sport. It's more specific to the athlete, because obviously for football and basketball, they're getting a lot of money from the schools because they're revenue generating sports. So they're getting a higher rev share and collective contracts. But I also have athletes that are like in baseball and some of the more non-traditional or non-revenue generating sports that are getting opportunities because they built a brand.
Right.
And so I always tell my athletes, if you are in, tennis, gymnastics, or whatever the other sports where they're not getting as much attention, not getting as much money, if you start to build that brand, you also then can create those opportunities. And we have a young man that's in his mom is a part of our community and our virtual membership. And he's built a phenomenal baseball brand online. I can't remember what school he's at, but it's not a Power 4 school. He's not even on full scholarship, but he pays for some of his school through his brand partnerships because he's built this phenomenal brand online.
Wonderful.
Also, hey, just real quick, we got a couple of people in the chat. Thanks for those who are joining us. Jerry asked a couple of questions. The one would you open your own agency to really, I guess, guide and drive in terms of
BSM LLC?
Right. Thank you for that question, Jerry.
So, one, we have started Black Sports Moms, and we also started the Black Sports Moms nonprofit arm that we haven't really launched yet, but we believe that we want to do some BSM cares and some BSM good out in the community. Right now, we are in talks with agencies to bring them on as our trusted partners. Every other day, we get DMs, messages of everybody asking us, I need an agent, I need a financial advisor, I need a tax strategist. And so we take that very seriously because anybody that we bring in our community, our moms are they trust us and they're going to want to do business with. Right. So we don't take just anything from anybody, right? So we want to make sure that we are curating and vetting people that we can then turn around and recommend to our community. Because again, we want to teach these families what they can do, but then outsource what you need within our trusted partners. So really within this second year, we've just started. We were at the combine. I was at the combine out in Indy and had a blast and met a ton of great, from trading card to merch deals, had agency meetings. And so we're moving into that space going into year 2. And so as of right now, no, but like I said, Lachauna has a kid coming up. So if she has her way in the next 6 years, we will have an agency, but not right now. And not for baseball. And
listen, I would say y'all are already, it's agency in the work that you're doing, right?
Yeah,
in terms of how we're linking momagers and dadagers and within community alone. So
we're
and vetting. I appreciate that. Yeah.
We're connectors and we're vetters. And so now we've built this community and we love these moms that are flocking to us. And so we take this responsibility very seriously to say, hey, this is what we're doing. And I see the next question. So what we are doing is we are entertaining one-on-one clients that want to help us walk through the contractual, the pitching for brand deals, and that all goes into our membership structure. We do have a membership platform, and our members do have access to one-on-one calls with us, contract reviews, and the like.
Outstanding.
Love it. As you are navigating all this space, things are ever changing. What has changed over the past couple of years with NIL? Any significant changes that have happened that you all have noticed?
It changed since last week.
Wait a minute, something just changed.
Literally, because there's an arbitration case pending right now, and so in about 45 days, it's going to change again. So
legislation. I mean, legislation is being proposed, and we're in those conversations as well with some legislators about how can we tap into our community to hear the voice, because they're hearing from the schools, they're hearing from the NCAA, but nobody's asking the athletes, what do y'all want in long-term legislation that's going to impact you for generations?
Yeah. Which is very intentional.
And that's being discussed at the federal level now, where our commander-in-chief is interjecting himself in that discussion. Have you guys started having those conversations?
EOs really don't have any legal jurisdictional power in this space. That's why it's kind of all fluff. Now we know we in odd times, so we'll see if that remains.
It's March Madness.
So as you say, it's funny you bring it up. So you talk about leadership and whatever that looks. We can be honest here and say in the Black community, mothers have led and been the foundation, for a good while. Do you think, with conferences being in some athletic powerhouse regions with Atlanta, Houston, and then the mini one in New Orleans, have there been some core topics that you have seen, or biggest moments that you guys have had from the moms that have come out of these conferences?
Yes. So some of the things that we talk about in our conference, my favorite, I teach it specifically, is called Mom to Momager, because you've got to understand how to transition from, this isn't just because I said so because I'm your mom. Yeah. Now we're business partners and we're entering into a business relationship. So I have enjoyed seeing my son grow as a business person, where he can say, hey, you know what? they don't really have our best interests at heart, because I'm like, strike them, but they're not doing this. And he's got to learn on his own, right? And so I sat back and I was like, okay, what do you want to do? And he was like, okay, let's give him 30 days and we're going to see. So he understands that I've enjoyed watching him grow and understand how his brand is being managed. So mom to momager is a big one. And we are very real with our moms. Understand when you're the problem. Girl, go sit down. What are you doing? Like, so we have those real, and this is why this is such a safe space, because we have these real, honest, vulnerable conversations in this room. And it's such a beautiful thing, because we've got moms who are negotiating multi-million-dollar deals. We've got moms who are getting ready to get billboards for their kid. And so everybody is in a space where we're all going and growing. We have high school moms who are sitting next to Houston Texans moms. We have Houston Texans moms that met at our conference that never met before, because those organizations don't foster family connection and relationship. They just don't. So we do the education, which is huge. Lachauna teaches redlining contracts. We talk about social media do's and don'ts, how to build your athlete ecosystem. We have an actual workbook that is almost 40 pages that all of these moms go through. Not only that, they write down everybody's contact information and they make connections. So it's, hey, what do you think about this agent? Are they good? Are they bad? We blast the good, the bad, and the ugly, because we
transparency matters.
Don't gatekeep. In baseball, I was by myself. Nobody would share. What agency are you with? What representation are you with? And I'm like, why are there crickets when I'm asking these questions?
Black sports moms, the new green book, baby. I like it.
I like that.
It really is. It really is.
I would really say that part what she's saying about the gatekeeping, that was one of the things that I just kind of really attracted me to working in this space, because I didn't dream of working in sports. This was, like I said, divine, God lining up all of my skill sets and my heart and my passion. Is like we keep seeing the same cycle of things happening to our athletes, our children, and how do we start to break? Somebody got to do something different. And so I was like, let's start targeting. People fuss about parents, and don't get me wrong, I'm in the parent chats, and I know folks be a little cray cray. My husband also was a youth football coach, so they cray cray out here. But let's educate. They're doing some of this stuff because they don't understand. So can you actually educate them and help them understand so that they can, at the end of the day, they're trying to make what they believe is the best choice for their child. So give them the education and help guide them, especially in our community.
That's what we tell the agents. Like, if your moms are educated, if they're secure, if they feel like they know their place, and then they're going to ask you less questions, they're going to feel more equipped to come through this journey. So it's literally a win-win. We're not trying to take business away from agents. Let's support these families. And then a lot of times they treat it as a one-stop shop. Whoever they trust, they're going to ask the financial advisor questions. Family, how do I get the payroll? How do I do this? We also brought in a whole separate mental health track to talk about all of these things.
Come on, blessings. Come on.
So yes.
Because I was, obviously they're learning, marketing, PR, navigating space, the feelings, like you talked about transition from mom to manager, and no son or daughter, you still, how you listen to me engage, but the pressure, not only for the child, but for their moms and dads, that creates its own set of challenges mentally, emotionally, psychologically, let alone the support or lack of support you're getting from, the system itself. So smiles too, that makes me think of smiles. And I wanted to ask, you're balancing a lot. I mean, that's what great leaders do, from being a mom to advocate for other mothers, other fathers, community, other athletes at multiple levels, right? Whether just starting or into the professional leagues or professional arenas, and also business professionals. How do you personally find smiles? Like, what makes you smile? How do you get your engagement? Because that's a part of the mental health capacity. Like, what brings you smiles in life?
So I am a firm believer in taking care of myself. So I would gladly tell family, peace out. I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to go have. I'm a ambivert. I've adopted, which means I can have extrovert tendencies, but I really recharge by myself. So going off and being able to do something by myself was what recharges me. So I but make sure I spend that time, but also just spending time with my family. And this is part of the sports mom journey in general, right? I enjoy watching my kids play sports and that family time and getting to create those memories. So while it is a ton of work outside of, what we do for the other sports moms, I am recharged by literally the family and me by myself. But because this is passion, it really, this is probably the first job I've ever had that I could really be like, it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work.
I can't, and I used to say other jobs is my dream job. This is literally the only one where it's like, this doesn't feel like work. It feels so purposeful, so fulfilling when the mothers send us messages and tell me, I was able to negotiate this for my child, or I asked these questions and I paused because I remember you said such and such and such. I get so fulfilled, and it's a smile from God that I will say in those moments to say, you doing what you're supposed to do, girl.
Yep, I agree. And I'll add to just being a traveling sports mom, you have to figure it out. I went to spring training and it was great, but I also got some beach time because I'm like, hey, I'm in Florida. So you have to learn how to take all of this sports travel. It's just like if you're traveling for work. If you're traveling for work, shame on you if you don't add a day and go to a nice restaurant or see something nice in the area. You have to make a life out of what you're doing. And I think back to Lachauna's point, when these moms come to us and they say, wow, you guys gave us confidence, I never would have asked that question. I tell a story about Dylan when we were negotiating for the draft and they were supposed to fly us out. And then they were like, well, no, we can only give you this. And we teach these moms to sit in that uncomfortable silence because your athlete is the commodity. And so when we have those moms that come back and they're like, I did it and it worked, it is so fulfilling because that is all we want to do is to pull back some of that mystique about how this works. And so just seeing our moms out there, it's like proud parents. We're like, look at our babies. They're out here negotiating and telling you, no, I don't care if it's standard, take that out. And they're doing all the things. So it's fun.
Now I'm gonna jump in real quick and say, what about the it's international. I mean, it's Women's History Month, but what about the dads? Why is it, I don't want to say it, but I want to say it. Why not the dads? Because we're all, and I had to ask for the Hornsmen dads out here who are all amazing dads.
And the Buckeye
dads. We want it for our kids too.
And the Buckeye. Shout out to Duke Petty John. I got you, cousin. I gotta say it.
Hey, you see me?
Goodness gracious.
Okay. I'm sorry. That was rude. Okay.
No, you're good. He was
black. We not only get the question, why not black sports dads? We got, why not Asian sports moms? Listen, we are 2 black women and we have founded Black Sports Moms and we are unapologetic about that. And we say that with our whole chest, right? Now, at the same time, we are impacting families. We have mothers who come to our conference and they go home and they present our 40-page workbook and they sit down with their husband and say, hey, okay, this is how let's approach it like this. So it is family building. And these women in our community treat this as professional development. So we're also working on something in Houston for the first time where we might have an event on Saturday that involves the dads while the moms are in the conference. The conference is still for moms only, but we are in talks too with some pretty powerhouse people for a Friday night event where it's going to be a nationally known name that's going to draw a lot of you guys out. And the dad.
Listen, Toma Brewer is ready to sign the contract.
I'm just saying. I can't spill all the tea yet, but I'm just going to say it's coming.
It's tantalizing.
One thing I also want to add to her just to kind of debunk, because whenever we say that we are Black sports moms, people immediately go, yeah, because the single moms will be like, Now we have some of everybody in our organization. This is not the woe is single mama who don't know. These are both married mothers, single mothers, co-parenting mothers. We have them across the board, educated moms, like she said, that are there for professional development. And because of the community that it creates, what Thomas said earlier, there is that special connection that we as Black women have. And is why we are so protective of this space, because we can have the conversations. We are experiencing, the world differently from all the other demographics. And so that special safe space is also why we are very protective of it. But at the end of the day, it's the families. We're working with the family as a whole.
Let me add one thing real quick. And one thing that we want to make sure,
you should go
I'm
first.
sorry. We debunk this. Everybody says, "Oh well, Johnny is the family is dependent on Johnny to get him out and this and that," and we debunk that because there are families come in all shapes and sizes. So you can't paint all families with one brush and say that they're putting all the pressure on this kid to make it, and he's required, to do that. And so our moms are doctors, principals, educators, professionals. They are badass women in their own right that are doing a lot of things in their community. So we want to make sure that we highlight that.
And I think it's important also, momagers of all, shape, sizes, and engagements, whether you're aunts, grandmothers, moms, right? You're just somebody you're supporting, a family member, right? It's empowering women. And you happen to be amazing Black sports moms, but you're empowering moms of all colors, of all nationalities, of all, races from that standpoint, from a community standpoint. So if this is knowledge and insight information, if they're supporting children at whatever level, right? Children to young adults, they should reach out for insight, right? Insight, guidance, support, consultation, and just community, man.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep.
Since I'm back,
I got what?
Hold on, MD. Since I'm back.
No, you're not back. You're not back. You're not back quite yet. You're not back quite yet.
Okay.
You're not. You're most of it. You're not back quite yet. So, what's the highest? Well, let me start by saying this. Arch Manning, highest NIL valuation. Just wanted to put that out because in case there was an Ohio State person in the chat. Number two, on the podcast. Number two, what's the highest contract you've helped negotiate? You don't have to mention the names or the school, but what's one of the highest contracts that you've helped negotiate or add a sprinkle on a red line?
I think it was 1.4 million.
Ooh, that's
1.4
nice.
million.
And wasn't that you guiding? We won't mention the name. Wasn't that you guiding her and teaching her how to do it herself, and she pulled it across the finish line on her own?
Yep. And I was talking through some of the other. I was telling her what I had seen in the other contracts, and I'm like, nope, you can ask for that. Go ask for it. Go. And let me just add, again, this is no shade to agencies, but they did have agency representation, and they actually were going to suggest coming in lower than what Mom had thought and what she had researched. And so she went with her number and they got it. So yeah.
And don't not have somebody look at it legally. Hire an attorney. Again, we're available. Have somebody review it, but that doesn't necessitate you getting 20% just because you read a contract.
Right.
It's not necessary.
Wait till
Sorry,
you're back.
That's where agents don't like us.
Some agents.
Some, right? Because the ones who mean well are not. Some of them are not even taking a fee while the child is in college. Because some of them are like, "You're gonna go pro." That's what I want to focus on. Let's just let you get your money in college.
Yeah, that was kind of leading to my question. I think since we're like 3 or 4 years of it really being hot, we're about to probably get to the dark side of stories and how things are going potentially negative. Do you guys see a next? Oh, I might have been gone.
No, the government doesn't like your answer. Your question.
Okay, I don't know.
He's in an elevator right now.
You're not.
I think I kind of heard what he's saying. It said, I kind of heard. I heard him say something about like our. I mean, some things are already coming out. There's a current challenge right now that a lot of families are facing. So just to kind of give you an understanding of the current landscape, since revenue share has come into play and it has a cap, the schools can only play the athletes so much out of that pool of money. So many of them still kept their collectives around, which are, for those who may not know, that sort of third-party booster folks, business people that are pulling the money in to bring the athletes. But The College Sports Commission, which is the entity that's reviewing and investigating and all of that around these deals, has determined that those contracts with the collective can't just say you're going to promote the collective, and it can't be vague and say we're going to basically like find you deals in the future, which is what many of them have tried to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, let me backtrack. The collectives are supplementing what can't be covered in the cap. And because of the College Sports Commission flagging a lot of these contracts, there's a lot of athletes that have not been paid because their contracts have not been approved.
We don't hear those stories.
Yeah.
We don't hear those
So
stories.
Don't hear that.
and that was what I mentioned earlier, the arbitration is with 18 Nebraska football players that are bringing it against the College Sports Commission. And I'm curious to see how this is going to play. It's going to really change because they're looking at two different things. They're trying to see, do they have the authority to deny this? Because we said we're going to get deals in the future and that should be enough. But then the second part, Nebraska actually has a state law that says the student athletes cannot be penalized for participating in NIL. So does the CSC even have the authority to penalize these athletes if it's against the state law? So how that goes, because the conferences are pushing a lot back on all of this. And I will say it's been a lot of stress at every level. From the transfer portal window, like it's been a lot of stress at every level, inside the institutions, outside the families, those of us who are working in the space, with all of the changes and it not really being beneficial to the parties that are actually operating within it.
Wow.
Very complex.
It is a very, we're going to have to invite y'all back
yes,
tomorrow because you said things are going to change
Right.
tomorrow.
We're going to have a standing call. We're going to have a standing call.
Seriously.
But ladies, I want to give y'all a shout out. Thank you all for coming. And I think that you need to share this episode with anybody that has a kid starting in middle school. Like, well, let me say
Tournament
this.
flag or whatever.
Let me say this. My son who is 5.
Come on, coach. Come on, coach.
You gonna have him watch the video tonight before he wakes up in the morning?
Get his mind right. Get his mind right with business.
He had 12 points in his last game.
But who's his coach?
He averaged
Tell him
2
stay
points
humble,
a game.
King. Stay humble.
Stay humble, King.
12 points. That's the highest anybody scored all season. So he did that. So we got to get him ready for this NIL money. I heard they're coming to look at him in 2 years. But
Brooksy.
Right now, they was in the audience.
The highest. My child had the longest hitting streak. Not only at the University of Texas, but in the Big 12, broke all the records.
See,
give a shout out. Ladies,
listen, I know we're going to go,
ahead,
MD. I got to tell them, I believe in community. I believe in power smiles, right? I think we can find them through people, but sometimes we have to build. We have to build, platforms so we can have those smiles. So thank you for being amazing leaders, right? Thank you for being community builders. Thank you for being moms and momagers. But thank you for sharing this insight with us and with, our viewers and listeners, but more importantly, everybody that you're interacting with and building community with. So I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Ohio State, Lachauna.
We love talking about it. Like Lachauna said, it doesn't feel like work. We can talk. We're so passionate about it. We can talk about this all day long.
Yeah,
I love it. Hey, ladies, for those that are watching and those that will see this later, how can people find you all? What's your Instagrams? What's your socials to share with everyone?
Black Sports Moms across all platforms. And it's an S on the moms. So Black Sports Moms.
Yeah, tell them about our membership.
Yes. And we also have a virtual membership, which we do 3 calls a month, as she's mentioned, the mental health track. And we literally just did one last week where we are addressing this, what we call the silent crisis. A lot of our athletes are dealing with depression and suicide. So we had a psychotherapist come on because we want to be able to equip our families with how do you have some awareness around these issues. We do a standing legal Q&A. So they come on and ask me all the questions and I provide that legal feedback in real time, as well as a sort of expert niche call. And that varies each month. And we've been having really great conversations, educating the families. And of course, they are also then taking that knowledge back to those who are in their community. So it's spreading, and we're building this web of women across the internationally, because we have some moms up from in Canada.
Global, let's go.
Yes, we global out here. Actually, I had one. She's actually in London. Her son plays over here, but she's in London. So yeah, so we worldwide, baby.
Come on. This is worldwide.
Prestige worldwide.
Right.
Wow.
And coming up, I think our next monthly call, we have one of the Baltimore Ravens team physicians, right?
Okay.
And then also a neurologist that is going to come on and talk about safety, concussion. And just, again, we have so many topics that we have to cover, and we only do it once a month, but we have some really, really great calls for our membership platform. And then we're also going to be doing some things that are available to the public as well.
We love it. And the 1 year anniversary. What hold on. The party's going down this weekend. Tell us about the party.
It's going down for real. So we are doing a unique celebration. We're doing 3 cities, 1 day, all on March 28th. We are launching 3 cities. We have an amazing group of advisory board moms. We're launching Jersey. We're launching Tampa. And then, of course, I'm in Houston. Lachauna will be here. This is at the JW Marriott, downtown Houston, Saturday night. And you can get the tickets links in our bio, and we would love to have you come out. Welcome to anybody, moms, dads, business professionals. If you just love us, support us, if you want to get connected with our community, if you want to find out more information about our conference that's coming up in July, that's where we'll be.
Cool.
Awesome. I'll be there.
I know you will be. And you better bring my girl Homa too.
We'll see. We'll see.
I love it. Ladies, we want to thank y'all again for coming out. Amazing organization, amazing ladies. We wish y'all the best of luck as y'all continue this and keep supporting the community. Again, thank y'all. Y'all are now officially Hornswomen.
Horns Black Sports Mom.
Horns Black Sports Mom. Doesn't roll off the tongue, but
look, I had to represent. I was trying to see if I was going to wear my Black Sports Mom shirt or if I was going to go and pull out the Longhorn. So,
well, you know what? You got on your Black Sports Mom cape. So you're good in the long
at all times, y'all are wearing it.
Thank you guys so much for the highlight,
thank you, ladies,
and the feature. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate y'all. Community
again, thank y'all.
Empower, negotiate, win. Black sports moms.
Let's do it.
That was funny.
That was.
Well, we gonna keep talking.
We're gonna keep the show rolling.
Yes.
So
and as we keep the show rolling, let's talk about the Hornsmen Bracket Challenge. Right now, we're going to the women's and men's leaderboards for the Bracket Challenge. These are the Hornsmen. Let's look at the men's. This is as per usual.
Is this a specific lead? As per usual. Why does it say? Okay, you're number 5.
Yeah,
you're number 1 out of the Hornsmen. Number 5 out of the whole.
We're gonna bring these are the Hornsmen first, and then we're gonna bring in the others as well. But these are the Hornsmen. These are us. You see the men's MD's number 1 for the Hornsmen. Number 2 for the women's. Shout out to our producer Spurlock, who's number 1 on the women's. I love it.
Show these when you're in the lead, bro.
Huh?
I know. Well, it magically doesn't appear.
It doesn't appear
when he's not at the top of the leaderboard. But that's okay.
But you know what? I can't magically appear on the leaderboard.
You can't.
I have to be on the leaderboard.
No, you do. You know what? And you are at the top of this leaderboard.
Kudos.
Yes. And I'll be on the other one. Hey, Spurlock, let's go to you and see. Let's go see who's leading the overall bracket challenge.
Wait a minute.
Shout out to the nurse wedding planner.
Is she back?
She doesn't stop.
Is
Can't
she
stop, won't
back?
stop. Ashley Snell.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it looks like it's a tie for first place in the men's.
B-Rob.
Ashley, my line brother B-Rob. That boy go.
What up, Ace?
Okay.
All of them in there. And then the women's. Look, it looks like it's a tie between Lucas Davis. Come on, Lucas. And Ashley again. And then my main man, Catfish Joe.
Catfish Joe.
Catfish Joe. That's my boy Joseph Dockery. That boy and he cooking up some catfish on Good Friday.
Good Friday. It's Friday Fish Up now.
He fried it up now. Now, we've done the bracket challenge, so appreciate everybody joining in for that. But let's get up into a little bit of who you got as we move into the final 4.
Should we look at our actual brackets? Because mine has been obliterated
busted.
From app.thehornsman.com.
Let's look at Let's look at who's currently playing. Nobody wants to know who's not playing. It's not as compelling.
We're gonna go with you. We're gonna start. Who do you have in the women's Final Four?
Well, I would have to know who's actually remaining.
Hope.
But
hope.
So I've got
it's called pre-show research. But anyway,
prep. South Carolina for sure. UConn, who absolutely obliterated their competitor. We're gonna go with LSU, and then of course everyone's favorite, the Lady Longhorns.
The Lady Longhorns.
Okay, I love it. Toma T, who you got in the Final Four, the women's Final Four?
Let's see. I'll go to my bracket for this because I think I had UConn and is Vandy still in it? UConn versus South Carolina, LSU versus Texas, South Carolina, Texas for the win. Come on, ladies. Get my Rory. Men's, I don't even know, man. I only watch the ladies.
We'll get to the men's in a second. We'll get to the men's in just 1 second. Wait till you got in the women's.
Final Four, UConn, Texas.
Say it with less energy.
UConn, Texas, UCLA, South Carolina. Kim Mulkey does not return.
Well, first of all, as we're going to our Final Four, let's give a shout out to Madison Booker, who went up for 40. She went up for 40.
40.
A 40 piece on Sunday against Oregon. Blowing these girls out. She looks so smooth. Jordan Lee, Rory Harmon. Shout out to Vic Schaefer, who gave Rory Harmon like 3 stage bows. I'm not gonna lie, we're watching on the plane on the way back from LA, and it got a little dusty in there. Like dust was coming in there. My eyes started. I was like,
a little wet.
Wow. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, where's all this coming from?
Like she was his first recruit.
Yeah.
And they have a great like relationship, highs and lows, but she is the true extension of him. And then, man, who knew that he would have been in Mississippi State, did what he did there, and then Madison Booker would be from Mississippi and brought her with him. I'll tell you, man, we go way back. Shout out to Vanessa Wallace and Taryn Brown and Coach Ty Dillard. So we've been rolling with the women's team for a long time, but they, along with probably the women's volleyball team, are like the last 3-4 years have been the most dominant program. Well, obviously swimming dominates too, but the most dominant program at the school, man. And MD, man, I want to also just thank you giving the VIP experience and seeing that, because I will tell you this. Yeah, we can go old school to the Irwin Center and all those things, but the mood seems like for women's games, it is rocking number one more than men's. And, the men and Sean Miller are turned around. But that atmosphere, I think that helps push the ladies. I mean, it's like, 40 in a row that they won at the crib? So it's got to be phenomenal, man. So I'm riding with them, man.
Shout out to softball, too, though. They reckon.
Softball.
Actually, Texas is wrecking.
Just quick share out. The little known fact: Rodney and I used to practice against the UT Lady Longhorns basketball team at the rec center, unofficial practice. But I will say that the women they're ruthless. They give 0 Fs when it comes to pushing, grabbing, pulling. They take it to a whole nother level. Weights.
Golly, shouldn't have been in the post.
No, bro, it's like their defense is like, to me, don't compare it to like a basketball team. You need to compare it to like the Baltimore Ravens or the Legion of Boom or the 85 Bears. It's because when they, what did you say, Kylie? When they sick, they lock on you. It's a wrap.
My God, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It was fun. It was good times.
I love it. Now, Gib, who was taking you to the hole and kicking your butt?
Well, you had Coach Edwina Brown on the perimeter, so she had a nice crossover. To be honest with you, Vanessa wasn't quick enough to get by me. But in the post, Taryn and of course D Smith. Shout
out to my nurses.
And then Danier's once erstwhile lover, Carla.
Wow.
It's not even after dark yet. Damn.
Bro, I mean, there was, and then of course, and I have to give the RIP to the late great Angie Jackson. But those were some of the Longhorn legends that we used to hoop against.
I love it. Now let's scooch on over to the men's. Who do you have going to the Final Four in the men's bracket? Yep. We're not going to start with you because you're going to need prep time.
No, I'm good.
Toma, let's go with you.
Go.
Is it Gip?
I'll go. So
Okay.
I have the mighty Arizona Wildcats as my number 1 seed. Iowa State is looking phenomenal. They handled Kentucky fairly well, and then my other side is a little half busted. I had Florida making it in, so I'd have to pick a replacement there. The Duke Blue Devils, of course, will be the 4th and final team in the championship. Arizona. I had Florida making it out, so I would have Arizona beating Duke in the championship game.
Man.
Well, I think you might have Duke is in a separate bracket.
Just MD, just that's
But
no need
but
to.
that's because he attacked my LB about lovers. I had to get him back. Toma, who you got? Your Final Four.
Are the Cougars still in? I've only been watching women's basketball.
They playing at the crib. They playing at the
Okay. So I maybe some Arizona. Maybe some. Listen, I ain't even watching U of H. Shout out to Duke, and somebody got a sneak attack. I'm going for the Cougs though. Hook 'em Cougs.
Wait.
Well, I'm not going for them. But shout out to the coaches. The coaches. You can see Sean Miller wearing the iteration of this quarter zip, but that's a whole other thing. I've got Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Houston.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna have
very
Houston
honest, y'all.
until it was like they're playing right here, bro. They're playing right at Toyota Center. That is a huge plus. Kind of like our girls are playing at in Fort Worth, so that's gonna be kind of home for us. Shout out to Dickies Arena and all the gymnastics that goes on there. But it's gonna be cool, man. And shout out to Phoenix, Arizona, man. But here's the thing: if Texas end up doing a thing,
man. Bowl maker, ain't worried about a bowl maker.
Phoenix, Arizona, we coming home.
I love it. Yeah, right now. So I was at the men's practice yesterday.
Status drop.
VIP All Access. And Coach Miller, man, he getting them boys ready for a Purdue coming up on Thursday. That's gonna be a matchup, man. Shout out to the men's basketball team that made the Sweet 16. I know they busted some brackets. Them boys busted some brackets.
How many teams have done that?
Bro, we got the most wins in the tournament.
16. That's wild.
I have them going all the way. So they didn't bust my bracket. But let me give you my Final Four. I don't have them quite making it to the Final Four. Let me give you my Final Four. Shout out to my guy Brandon Chappelle at Arizona. Got Arizona going in there. Actually, I have Arizona winning it all. So, Brandon, y'all got to go ahead and take that. Duke. I got Duke as my other Final Four. I've been up with the Cameron Crazies up in that stadium. It's amazing. Shout out to my boy Wesley Willard in Michigan, putting y'all in the Final Four.
The Wolverines, all right.
The Wolverines, and Waits, oddly enough, I'm going with your same Final Four, U of H. Saw them last year play in San Antonio against Florida.
Yeah.
So those are my Final Four, and again, I have Arizona winning it all.
Ooh, yes, sir.
We beating Purdue, MD.
We're gonna give them a great game. It's gonna be a close game.
I love it.
Listen, we got to just speed.
Because you know
I
what?
don't want to slow it down. We need to be fast. Purdue
Because you know what?
down.
Because you're looking at Cam Heidi, who looked great in practice. Boys was making some shots. Like our shooting has progressively got better over the season.
Whoever hits the most 3-pointers is gonna win, though, Toma.
There you go. Okay. That's
I love
it. Shoot.
Hey, man, we appreciate everybody joining us for this live episode. Shout out again to the Black Sports Moms.
Yeah,
and everything that's going on with them. Toma, go ahead.
Nope.
No, I was just saying it's her 1 year anniversary. I think it's
he was-
amazing. We're gonna celebrate him on Saturday.
His point of order,
The 1 year.
order right there. I love it. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Another great show. Catch us next week as we have our guest, Rodney Terry, will join us next week
All
as
right,
we
Coach
get
Terry.
down to the final.
Coach Rodney Terry.
Rodney Terry.
Hey, Coach.
Hook 'em.
Not Aaron.
Love y'all.
Rodney
It's
Wade.
March
Rodney
Madness.
Terry.
Yes, sir.
Behind every Cinderella story is a great mom.
And a slipper.
Don't forget
And
the
a-
slipper.
And a pumpkin horse.